this is it. Maybe we can start the second episode of what do we call this thing again? What, I can't remember what we called it. The Something for Nothing Rush podcast. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on all that stuff. I don't know. So far, this is just kind of for our entertainment, but that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. If you like this, it's cool and everything. I don't know. We've been talking about this for a while, and how our next episode is going to be about the Rush album, uh, Vapor Trails here. Vapor Trails. Good release by the band, I think. Much anticipated. If you probably all know the story, if you know anything about Rush, how Neil had a few personal family problems there, and was kind of up in the air whether there would be a band Rush anymore. And then in 2002, they came up with Vapor Trails, one of their strongest efforts ever. We talked about this earlier in the week, how, it signaled that Neil was back, and he's back in full force. When you put the CD in, it plays, I can't remember what was the first song. Starts out with those drums.
One Little Victory.
One Little Victory. Boy, in a big way, Neil is back. He is back in full force. Saw him on that tour. It was great to see him again, and a really strong album there. Everything is good on it. A lot of good, interesting sounds. Not too many solos on it though. But still, one of the best jamming efforts by Rush. Some of the best lyrics ever. What do you say?
Yeah. I'm going to be a great play-by-play man today. Yeah. No, I do. One of the things, think about in 2002, what had happened in 2001. And I see so many, in the lyrics, you just mentioned the lyrics, I see so many things about, stuff rang in about, Neil and his personal stuff. Then plus, kind of like there's also a 9/11 theme to some of the songs. Did you kind of notice that?
Yeah, what's the one? I got it here right here.
Peaceable Kingdom.
It's the other part. The fourth part of the Fear trilogy and everything. Which was cool to hear from again. And yeah, definitely kind of dark. And he was coming from a bad place. With losing his wife and losing his daughter in just a few months, and that's got to put anybody into a bad mental state. So is it any surprise that things were a little bit dark there for a while?
Well, Russia always has had kind of like a little dark side to them. Come on. They were never really a, warm, fuzzy, look at this teddy bear band. And it was when
I can kind of. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I can kind of agree with that because I know Matt for a fact that one of your favorite Rush albums, maybe even your favorite one, kind of is going to be Roll the Bones. And for me, when they were doing those kind of songs about love and stuff like The Speed of Love and things like that, not my favorite songs. So when they do stuff like that, hey, a bad Rush song is better than no Rush song. But I think that is kind of their weakest stuff when they try to fluff things up.
A bad Rush song is better than any other group songs, period. That's pretty much how I feel. But when they released Vapor Trails to me, I going through my once over, I always listened to it very intently one time. And I just saw there were so many different things. My favorite song on that album is Ghost Rider. And you know how much I was into motorcycles. You remember being stationed together. You know how much I was into motorcycles and stuff like that. And I've literally done what he did. When I got out of the Air Force, I rode my motorcycle from New Mexico to North Carolina, my home. And doing things like that, it gives you time to think, time to listen, time to be anonymous. And that was one of the cool things. It really resonated with me, that song. And I say One Little Victory is, to me, when that hit, that to me is just that far below 2112 in, the beginning of a song and how powerful it is.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, fair enough.
Yeah,
How about the tour?
and you know what?
Now
Do
go
what?
with your idea. Go. What were
You
you saying?
know,
Sorry.
and I would love to know. I would love to know what our followers think of that too. I mean, I mean, I hope that everybody that listens to this, we encourage people to, uh, we encourage people to comment, and you know, I want to know everybody else's opinion. That's how we all grow that's how we grow as people. And remember, there's no wrong opinions. One
Mm.
of the coolest things about one of the coolest things about um, the album is I don't know. We've talked about this before, but at the time I was trying to learn how to play guitar. Okay, and I don't know what an A minor with a suspended seventh is when it looks like when you go like this, you know. But I know where to put my fingers. The only album that I can either play all of the songs or parts of every song. And it to me and what it meant to me was, you know, hey, this is really cool. I can finally do something where I can tag along with, just play this stuff, and it just gave me a great feeling about it.
Yeah, as we talked about before, it's Vapor Trails is known for not having too many solos on it. Can Alex Lifeson tear it up on that kind of stuff? Yeah, of course. He chose to hang back and make things a little bit more jamming and a little bit more. I don't know. I'm sure he didn't make it. He didn't do the things he did on Vapor Trails to make it easy for fans who know how to play guitar to play. But we talked
No,
about that before. These songs seemed like that they were all kind of invented. Maybe I'm wrong, just my opinion, but it seems like they were all kind of invented just by the band getting together in a room together and just jamming. And to me, that's some of my favorite stuff from Rush is just their jamming little parts instead of because you can read about the history of the song sometimes in the tour books and from interviews and things like that, and each member will bring separate ideas to the band, but to me, I can tell, and it seems to me like Vapor Trails is like this. They just went into a room and started jamming together like a few teenagers would do when they were first starting up their first band, and that's awesome stuff. And it contributed I'm sorry, to the sound of Vapor Trails.
yeah,
No other Rush like that.
yeah, I love the sound of the album. I love the way that the songs are made. Alex definitely has a great knack of putting a texture to, putting a really good guitar texture to very heavy rhythm pointed songs. And he has a great I think he has a great knack of being able to know what to place where and not have it hurt his feelings if he's not out front. I don't necessarily know if there's another guitarist out there that's able to do that. And I think that's one of the things that makes
That's the one
Alex so great.
that shows you what a great band Rush is because they're not afraid to get out of the way of the other people. They're
Exactly.
not prima
Exactly.
donnas, and they're not the ones that they don't have to be heard all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Vapor Trails is one of the first albums that really did that where there was, there's not a whole lot of, like what we say, rip snorting guitar solos, and it just seemed like more of a jammy session that these guys realized that, hey, we're back together and it just feels good to play. And if you like to
Yeah.
listen to the songs we came up with, that's fantastic.
How about when we talked about this before? You went to see him on that tour. I went to see him on that tour. They opened up the concert with Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that a
I
good
mean,
idea?
yeah, why not? I mean, it's by far the most
I thought it
popular
was
song
great.
ever. Huh?
I mean, at the show that I went to, when they came out and hit that sound that is that song, and the crowd just went wild. And what? Yeah, I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they finally did that. I'm glad they finally
Yeah,
instead of relegating it to oh, we're gonna sit here the whole concert and wait until they play Tom Sawyer during the encore. That
yeah.
was a great surprise and it changed things up a lot. I thought it was great. I thought it was really great. What a great way to start a show.
Absolutely. Now I can't remember the intro before Tom Sawyer, but did they still have the Three Stooges do the intro?
That's a good question too. I can't right now in my mind. I can't remember it. I vaguely remember when they did the Three Stooges, but they had the little background of the way the Three Stooges used to come on, except it was Getty Alex and Neil as dressed up like the Stooges. And but I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I'll have to check. Even though Vapor Trails is one of my favorite Rush albums, and I enjoy all the videos that they put out. When they did the video of Rush in Rio, which was basically the last show of the Vapor Trails tour, not one of my favorite videos because of the editing. I don't know if you remember this or not, but it's edited for people with short attention spans. It's really quick cuts to it, and each scene lasts just maybe a second or so before you're seeing something else. I wish they would have, let the cameras dwell on the players for a little bit longer, and but that's kind of nowadays too. We talked about trends and music and the loudness wars and things like that, and
Well,
that's just kind of the
people
way things
definitely have a
are. But
shorter. Well, think about it, John. People definitely have a shorter attention span now than they used to. You have to do something to keep people's attention. To
true,
me,
true.
on a Rush video, if they just want to put a camera where I can see everybody, play, kind of like an elevated position, and just watch everybody play, I'd be fine with that. But that's just
Oh, so
me.
you like that? You like that? You like going to a Rush concert and seeing the big screen in the background and seeing them play, in addition to seeing them on the stage, with nothing between you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in fact, purposely buy tickets. I don't buy tickets on the floor. I buy tickets in an elevated position off to the side, so I can literally see everybody, and I don't have to strain my eyes now, because I'm getting old. But but I buy a ticket all the way elevated to the side, kind of like what we were when we went and saw them Roll the Bones tour. If I
Sure,
remember
sure.
correctly,
Yeah,
we were kind of off to the side, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
like that
We weren't
position.
directly in the middle. We were kind of far back. I went to see him. Michael and I went to see him on Counterparts, and I had like third or fifth row or something like that, right on Getty's side,
Yeah.
which was the best, seats I've had. If you call it the best for a Rush concert. But to tell the truth, I would rather be a little bit further back too, because you can, I'm pretty sure I missed a few things because I'm focusing here on one thing and something else is going on over here. So I'm kind of like that too. Plus, it saves you a few bucks.
Yeah.
I'm cheap that way.
We're all cheap that way sometimes, and as we get older, we get cheaper. I mean, I don't know if I've bought a concert tour. Uh, I always buy the concert the tour books, but I don't know if I've actually bought a shirt in a while.
Yeah,
And
I'm going to see him next. I guess it's next weekend. I'm kind of debating about, am I gonna stop by the swag, booths and get anything? Well, I would like to get a tour program, but we'll see.
yeah, I always do the tour program because I like reading the liner notes and all that other kind of stuff in the tour, and I like to know what equipment they're using, like that really matters. I mean, I can't afford any of it, but I still want, I still want to
Oh,
go out
sure.
there, and I want to look at it. Now the question I have, I actually posted this on our website, but what is your favorite looking drum kit that Neil had?
You're going to laugh at me. We've talked about this before. My favorite drum kit is that pink drum kit that he had during Power Windows. Something about it, something about the hardware on it, something about the little painted symbol of the little TV set with the Power Windows logo and the pink and the heart. I think it had gold hardware on it. I think
Yeah,
that was really sharp. However, I do, I know what you're going to say. I do love, the red Tama set that he had back in, I guess, I don't know when he started playing that around moving pictures. I don't know when he started playing that.
I think he
But I know the
played
one you're
those.
talking about.
Yeah, I think he started playing those around Farewell to Kings, actually, and it was a birch color at first, and then I think it
Okay.
switched to red in with Signals, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But that's
People,
my
people, please
my
don't slay us on this.
do
Don't
what?
slay us on this. When we get our facts wrong, everybody, don't slay us on this.
Oh
We're trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
remember as best we can.
yeah. Don't
we
troll us.
we got regular lives. We got regular lives, and we follow Rush to the best of our abilities. And Hey, I'm a Rush fan. I have been all my life. But if you put a gun to me and said, "Hey, what's what Neil and Getty's and Alex's birthday?" I couldn't tell you because I'm not that kind of fan. But there are plenty of those kind of Rush fans out there.
Yeah, and yeah. I
So
mean, we all have lives. We all have work to do. I mean, most of my listening is done in the car in a car from customer to customer when I'm driving, in my job. So, it just we don't need any trolls here. Be nice. You know, we I don't have as many brain cells as I did when I was 20 years old. Let's just say that. Okay. So, but mine actually, my favorite drum kit was the Moving Pictures drum kit, and then second is Now. I think that is a awesome looking kit. I mean, they're just so bling. But Moving Pictures was really cool because it kind of was raised up, and all you could see was this madman behind it just smacking the crap out of everything. I mean, I just love that. I love that, and that's one thing I like about Neil is Neil uses everything in his kit. There are guys out there that just have drums circling around them, but you go to their concerts and you're like, did he use that? I mean, what's the purpose of
mm,
having it if you don't use it? Um, but Neil uses everything, and that's if he's not using it, it's not there. And it's always been very. If you notice, it's always been very aesthetically pleasing.
yeah, it always look. He's got that drum tech that's been with him for a while too, and he takes care of all of his stuff and keeps it looking good and makes. I guess the first thing I'm not a drummer. I guess the first thing you have to do as a drummer is to make your drums look good, of course. But you got to arrange them so it's convenient for you to play, right? I mean, that's one of the things that I hear about is sometimes a drummer will sit in on another drummer's kit and they'll be kind of lost in the beginning because not everybody you know when you pick up a guitar, it's strung basically the same way and it's tuned basically the same way. You can alter the tunings, but you know from what I know, a drum kit, it varies from drummer to drummer. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest things right there is I mean you have to be comfortable playing, what you did. I took dresses before I went into the Air Force like in 1984, and I realized real quick that I sucked at it, and so it was almost like a waste of money. And so it was like, oh my, you know. I got a new respect for people that can actually play this stuff really good. It's not pots and pans with little mixer spoons anymore,
yeah,
you know. So
yeah,
but it really was I think all of his stuff is very good looking, and but the one that just really strikes me is Moving Pictures, you know, and it to me that I think that was the best he's had, you know. So
yeah. I agree. It's a great one. It's probably his most iconic look. The one he's probably related to the most. That big old Tam. I guess it was a Tama set that he played back then and everything. I love the current drum kit too. I don't know. The last one was cool too. The snakes and arrows. That was cool.
yeah, yeah, that was a really neat. I like the whole industrial thing they're kind of doing right now, with the snakes and arrows. But what is up with the damn chickens? I mean, what is
Well,
up with
everybody likes
what is
chicken.
up with Getty and the chickens? I mean, is he on the Atkins diet or something? Only protein?
I mean, yeah. Where's this going to go? If he's plugged directly into the mixing board or whatever he's doing now, and he doesn't need amps, how long can he keep stretching this out? And what other ideas is he going to come up with to entertain people and take up that extra space?
How about a
I mean, he's had dryers and chicken rotisseries and things like this. What's next?
what I would like to see next? Like a vending machine, like a candy vending machine, or a soda
Oh, that'd be
vending
cool.
machine, something like that. That would be kind of cool, I mean, or do you remember when we first went into the Air Force? They had beer vending machines.
Hmm.
have a
I
beer
heard
vending
about
machine.
those.
Huh?
All right.
hence
Works for
the
me.
hence the brain cells. I lost all my brain cells in college. There's a there's a time and a place for everything, and it's called college.
Oh man.
Well, you know what we ought to do? We ought to open this up too to our fans and our forum listeners. What subjects do you want us to go along? What subjects do you want us to talk about? I think one of the things we need to talk about next is the pop culture that is infused in the Rush songs, or vice versa. Like with South Park, they do a lot of Rush stuff. Um, I would love to explore that.
Okay. Okay. Pop culture, it seemed to me, I know how much um, um, Test for Echo means to you. It seems to me there was a lot of pop culture, talked about in that album, and but I don't know. With fans, I like the album too, but with fans, it's one of their least favorite ones because of those kind of things. Where he talks about the internet and he talks about people people want to dress all tough and everything, but when they get in trouble and they make it to court and they have to go to court, well, they're going to dress up and clean themselves up and put on another disguise too. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but that's something that they've explored before, and I mean, but what I'm talking about, like, is now they're in movies. Now, I mean, you've got TV shows that what I
sure.
mean. Which none of that was in the 1980s when we were in high school. I mean, there wasn't any.
No, nobody really cared. A lot of people, a lot of people who were serious musicians and things like that, and really, and non-musicians too. They knew how talented Rush was, but a lot of people just didn't like them because of, you know, they're not a glamorous band, so you're not going to have a lot of women, buying their music. I don't guess. Maybe there's exceptions.
Yeah,
And yeah, a lot of people are annoyed by Getty's voice.
yeah, yeah. Well, 7 females at a Rush concert. That must be some sort of record.
All right, cool, man. Dude, believe it or not, we've been talking for about 25 minutes. So I'm going to have to do some serious editing to get to this thing to get it under the allotted time that I can put on YouTube. So there may be a little bit of work to this thing this week instead of just putting the whole thing out there and not having to do anything.
Better you than me.
All right. I'm just a guy to do it.
We're just the guys to do it. All right, man.
So I guess everyone, that looks like maybe it's going to be it for this week's Something for Nothing podcast. Look for us on Facebook. Look for us on Twitter. Look for us. Are we on anything else?
Yeah, we're on all
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of where we post these things, anyways. God, what was it?
All right, y'all. Till next time. Till next time. Adios.
Adios.